Okay, people, I'm going to give you my thoughts and my concerns of next Sunday's episode of From. I love this show. If you haven't seen this show, go check it out. I fully recommend watching this show from start to finish. It's on season 3, so go check it out at your leisure. Okay, so this episode, season 3, episode 7, These Fragile Lives. And it goes, the edge is beginning to fry as concerns about Fatima's pregnancy deepens. Jade follows a clue into the forest. Julie and Randall seek a bit of normalcy. Okay, so let's dissect this. I'm also going to be talking about last week's episode. I'm gonna be breaking it down. It will be some spoilers. If you still haven't seen that episode, I do apologize in advance. And I'm going to explain to you what I believe is going on in the town of coming from Fromville. Right? So let's dive into episode 7 and what I think. And I'm just sharing you guys my theories and my opinions. Okay. As far as Fatima's pregnancy deepens, if you've seen last Sunday's episode, basically they had equipment in the ambulance, and they used the equipment in the ambulance to check out the status of the baby. Comes to find out, and here come the spoilers. If you still haven't watched the episode, I suggest you not listen to this video. But come to find out, after using the equipment in the ambulance, that Fatima is not pregnant. Okay, now Fatima did not appreciate the news. She told them to check again. They checked again, and there is no baby in Fatima. And a lot of people are skeptical and believing the following. That maybe Fatima is becoming one of those creatures of the night because of her strange eating habits and just simply, her, just acting strange throughout this episode, throughout this series, as well as last season. Okay. And a lot of people are beginning to think that Fatima is becoming one of those creatures, or she's about to birth one of those creatures. Okay. And a lot of people, particularly on social media, is thinking that this is a way that the town is, playing and messing around with the people that are trapped in that town by giving them a lot of false hope. And they feed off of the disappointment of the false hope that they give into the town people. It seems like every time they take 2 steps forward, and they take like 5 steps backwards, and they're probably in a worser place than they were when it was taking the 2 steps forward. And this is a way to feed the creatures of giving them the hope. And then once they go through the emotions of this hope, and then come to the end of the road, come to find out that this was false hope. And then they have doubts and concerns, and they start getting scared and not sure that they're going to leave the town. And this is the energy that these creatures are feeding off of. Now, that's a lot of people's theories. Me personally, I slightly co-sign with that. I do think that the town, the universe that's hovering over this town, that's plaguing this town that they're trapped in, I just think they're messing with people's minds and their self-esteem. For what, I don't know. But that, like I said, that's a theory everyone is gravitating to. I slightly gravitate to it, but there are many pieces to the puzzle that we need to put together before we come to that conclusion. And that's just my opinion. Okay. So, Fatima is not pregnant. If she is pregnant, is not of a normal child and is probably of something else, or she never been pregnant, and this is just one of the ways that they're feeding a lot of false hope into these people. And and then when reality sets in, now they get doubt, they have doubts, they have concerns, and then they start thinking about, will they ever leave this town? Okay, and this has been going on since season 1. Okay, now let's go into Jade following clues in the trail into the forest, and Jade slowly but surely is putting a lot of pieces together on why they are where they are. Now, I want to say this. Jade has been going through countless theories and conspiracies since season 1. And just when he think he gets a grip of what they're dealing with, it's always at the end of the road of, well, that theory didn't work. That doesn't make sense. And it got Jade slowly into having doubts about himself, the town having doubts of himself. Everyone thinks that Jade is just a conspiracy theorist that's always drunk, okay? And you just can't trust what he's saying. His mind is playing tricks on him. That's the MO of Jade from season 1 to season 3. Now, I will say this. Last week's episode, Jade got some information that even Boyd had to sit back and think that that's a possibility. And Jade had a lot of clarity of, particularly in Sunday's episode, because of Tom. Tom is, a figment of his imagination, or maybe a ghost, or maybe it's the From universe playing tricks on Jade. But Tom pretty much told Jade, like, hey, the guy that built that multi-million-dollar company had more sense than the guy that I'm looking at right now, because this guy needs to quit drinking and really try to put 2 + 2 together. All right. So basically, Jade comes to, particularly at the end of Sunday's episode, he started to slowly begin to fit the pieces. The bottle trees, the other stories that other people have had or what they have seen, the Randalls and what they have gone through. Okay. So now Jade is slowly but surely starting to piece these pieces together. And Julia, I'm sorry, that's the daughter. The mother told Jade a story when she was a child, that she would have these nightmares about these 3 red rocks. Okay. And Jade discovered those 3 red rocks at that place where it was the only place where food can only grow throughout that whole town. Okay, because the place that they're currently in, they can't grow any food because the ground is rotten, or the ground is dead, whatever the case may be. But there's a part, particularly in the From universe, where vegetation is growing, and they constantly go out there to get this vegetation. Now, they can't do it all in one day. They have to spend a night to get a lot of it before they wake up the next morning. Okay, so Jade was with the first group, well, the second group, excuse me, and then he started having these flashbacks. He saw a man drinking blood out of a skull. This image, this person had blood on them, and he saw the 3 red rocks. And at first, Jade just thought it was just another piece that he couldn't connect with all the other pieces that he previously had. And when he had the conversation in the Matthew household, And when the mother told him about when she was a child, she had these dreams of these 3 rocks. That's when it slowly started to make sense to Jade. And now Jade is on this journey to go back to this town. Now this is going to be on episode 7. He's going to go back on the trail, go back to that part of Fromville to figure out what do the 3 rocks mean. Okay. I think this next episode, episode 7, I think that Jade's going to have more clarity. I don't think he's going to put all of the pieces together, but I think he's going in the right, I think he's going to have the right train of thought of what makes this town this town. Why I don't think he's going to discover all the mysteries, but I think he's going to slowly but surely figure out that everyone's dreams, everyone's flashbacks, everyone's nightmares, they have something in common. They all fit together. They all go in together. And it goes back to, and I remember on a Discord chat, well, how come these people never do more town meetings and, talk about what they have seen, what they have heard, when they were kids or before they got to the town, they had these images and dreams of this town before they actually was trapped into this town. Why don't they do more town meetings? And, they can probably figure out the pieces to the puzzle a lot quicker. And you saw what that happened. I think it was episode 5, I believe. Dale, they had the town meeting, and then even Fatima, started basically having doubts and concerns because of the Matthews mother. She came back to From, okay? And just give me 1 second. And she came back into From, okay? And hold on 1 second, guys. The Matthew mother, I don't know why it's doing that, but hey, it is what it is. We're gonna get to the bottom of this. She left the From town, went to the lighthouse, got pushed out of the lighthouse by the kid in the white clothes, and she came back to she came back into this time. She was out of the From universe. She was in this city, and people were asking her, well, how come you never, talk to, how come you never talk to anyone outside of this town, of what we're going through? And she said, well, I didn't think that anybody would believe me, and which they wouldn't. They wouldn't believe her, okay? And I kind of look, Julia Matthews. No, that was the daughter. Hold on 1 second, guys. And I've been telling people this. There are I'm counting them right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 21, 22, 23, 24. They're over 30 characters in the From universe. And I've been listening to a lot of people's thoughts and opinions on YouTube, trying to break this stuff down. And they don't even talk about all the characters. They only talk about the characters that they feel matters the most in each episode, which is only 3 characters. I'm up here trying to gather all the characters, and I think that's where people are. I think that's where people, don't put all the pieces together, because they're not talking about all the pieces. They're only talking about certain pieces of the show. And I think that's another reason why a lot of people are not putting all. I think all of these storylines, all of these characters are one big jigsaw puzzle, and you just can't just leave 5 or 6 pieces out to try to figure this out. You have to put them all together. It means much beyond having all of them together. You'll slowly but surely figure out what they're going through. Okay, Tabitha, that's who I'm talking about. Tabitha went outside of the from town, and she went back into this reality, and everyone was telling her, well, how come you didn't call the police? How come you didn't talk to anybody about us? And Tabitha thought that if she would have told anyone where she was from, people would have thought that she was crazy. They would have put her in a crazy home, gave her medication, thought that she was, thought that she was crazy or heavily medicated, and they would have put her in a crazy home, and she would have been locked up, and nobody would have gotten out a lot sooner. Even Victor's father said when Tabitha was explaining this to her that he didn't believe her, but the only reason why he believed her was because he too is a part of this mystery. His son has been missing for so long, and she's up here telling Victor's father, no, I have spoken to your son. Okay, your son is alive. And that's the only reason why he gravitated more to Tabitha, because Tabitha had pieces that were familiar to him, and he had pieces that were very familiar to Tabitha with the bracelet and all. Now, a lot of people are putting this theory of Tabitha is Victor's mom. They're all related. Like, and I heard someone say that Victor's father is Tabitha's husband. Okay, a lot of people are put out. I don't know why they don't have these characters in order. You have to go through all of them just to. But Tabitha's husband, Jim Matthews, is Victor's father, and to me, I don't believe in that. What I believe in is if you believe in reincarnation, if you believe in the next lifetime, when people leave this earth and they die, they just reincarnate into another human being. And and sometimes when you are reincarnated into another body, sometimes you have nightmares, or when you dream about things that you have never physically experienced, but they are familiar. And a lot of scientists, and this is proven fact, a lot of scientists believe in this theory that the reason why you have these dreams is because of, the reason why you have dreams of someone else's memories is because maybe, you were in a deja vu moment, or maybe you were in another body and you remember those memories, but those memories are dreams. Okay, so if you believe in that stuff, I think that's a theory that's very there's a possibility in that theory. But yeah, so Dale is trying to find and trying to find the answers. Okay. Now, one other thing I want to talk about is Julia Matthews and Randall. That's the last part of this episode that they're going to talk about. And I feel like Randall and Julia are going to, they have a common bond because of season 2. They went through they went through something, they went through something that the universe with the waltz and they went through this trance. It was them as well as oh my God, oh yeah, Marlena. All three of them went through this trance that the universe plagued them, and it makes them see different things. Well, more so with Randall, he sees these bees or walls of flying around him. With Julia, she's lost all hope in leaving this town, and I think out of everybody in the Fromville universe, I think Julia has came to the conclusion that they're never going to leave. And Margie, she was depending heavily more. Well, at first she was a drug addict, and she was trying to overcome that. And ever since she went through that spiritual, they cast a spell on all three of them. Now she's more down to earth. She's more reliable and more dependable. She's like the rock to a lot of people in Fromville, trying to keep it together. So you saw a transformation of these characters after that ordeal that they went through in season 2. You just saw them completely change overnight. Before they were all trapped in that spell, Julia had a sense of hope. She was she was making she had a mindset is, well, if I'm trapped, I'd rather be trapped with my family. At least my family, if I'm stuck somewhere, at least I'm with my family. And yes, one of these days we're going to try to get out of here. That was before she caught into that spell. Randall was more of a loner. He didn't have any social skills. And after that situation, when they was trapped in that spell, now Randall has a sense of, I think Randall and Julie have the same mindset after that situation that happened to them. They are completely have no hope on getting out of there. Okay. And it is almost to the effect that Randall, Tabitha, and Juliet, it seemed like they switched their problems, because Margie was heavily dependent, she was a drug head, all right? And now Julie is depending heavily more on that weed. And, I don't know if they can grow that weed where they're from, that spirit weed or whatever it's called. It's not actual weed, but I don't know if they can countless get that. But let's just say they can't. How she's going to cope from the situation that she finds herself currently in that town, and the hopelessness that she has, in how she's going to cope and dealing with all that. I don't have no hope, and this, that, and the third. The weed kind of balance her out. Well, what if they don't have the weed? What else she's going to depend on? Weed is a gateway drug. It leads you to other more powerful drugs like being hooked on cocaine, or being hooked on crack, or being hooked on prescription medicine. I think that's the road we're going to head with Julie. I think she's going to be heavily dependent on just getting high and just getting away from dealing with the realities of what they're dealing with in this town. So I think that's a storyline that could be happening at the end of season 3, and they start focusing more on it on season 4. That's a possibility. Okay. Now with Randall, like I said, he was he had no social skills. He wanted to be a loner. And ever since the attack on him in I think it was 2 episodes ago, or maybe 3 episodes ago, I apologize. He's dealing with the after effects of the attack. The creatures attacked him, and they kept him alive. So in the daytime, they can see what they're going to be dealing with late at night. Him walking around with scars on his face. Last Sunday was the episode was titled Scar Damage or Scar Tissue. I do apologize if I butchered the title. It's like a lot of people, they anyway. So scar tissue, and that's when they wanted him to be a reminder and keeping him alive. And this would also have guilt on Boyd, because Boyd had to make a choice: either save Tabitha and the people in the ambulance, or save Randall. But you couldn't do both. So he chose to save Tabitha and the police officer. And he was trying to save the other paramedics, but they died. Okay, so Boyd had to make a choice, and I think that was that's the way of the creatures. They're playing mind games with them, and now Boyd got another thing that he's worried about, concerned about. He feels guilty about. And they slowly want to have Boyd just lose all hopelessness of getting out of there, because they don't want them to have the mindset of, we need to get out of there. They just want them to have the mindset of just dealing what they have to deal with. They feed off of their emotions. They feed off of them, because sooner rather than later, people are going to crack. Just staying there forever, you're going to crack, okay? And particularly when you have the mindset of, we're never going to leave from here. Desperate people do desperate things, okay? So, yeah. So that's pretty much it for that particular episode. And now I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions. And there's a young lady who did a video on what happened to the motel, and she had a lot of great theories. I'm going to try to I'm definitely going to, when I'm done with this video and it's done downloading, I'm going to have a link to her YouTube channel. And she had tons of theories that I agree with. Her theory about the motel, I slightly agree with, but I don't, but like I said, these are all theories. Everyone has their own opinions. Everyone has their own theories. I even commented on her video about the motel theory. But anyway, I'm gonna try to do my due diligence to link her video in the bottom of the comment section, because every time I see someone's video, I want to let people know, hey, go. I think her name is Mary. I forgot her name. I do apologize. But anyway, let's go to my thoughts and my opinions particularly with the motel, and I told you guys in a couple of videos ago, I think this town is trapped in 2 different time zones. And the reason why I came to that conclusion is, if you look at the town from season 1 to season 3, you start noticing a trend of a lot of, misplacement. The houses are built like they don't really belong together. When you look at the post office, and when you look at the diner, it just seems like they're from 2 different eras. I do believe that post office was built in the 70s, and that diner was built in the 50s. Okay. And then you look at the motel sign and you see a swimming pool next to the motel. One could assume that the motel was probably next to the motel sign. Now, this young lady had a theory that maybe that hotel fell into a sinkhole. And I kind of disagree with her on that, because there's no evidence of that. Plus, there's a house next to the swimming pool. There's a house next to the swimming pool where the motel should be. Okay, so that's why I come to the conclusion, plus with the train tracks so close to the houses, okay, I come to this conclusion that this town is stuck in 2 different universes. Okay, imagine this, and we're going to have to travel down this rabbit hole, and I hope no one gets lost in this rabbit hole, but I do apologize if you do. Imagine imagine this universe, but imagine another universe that has the same planet, that have the same solar system as this solar system, that has an Earth just like we have an Earth. All right, and imagine these 2 universes living in space. And I believe that I believe that this part of the planet, wherever from is collided with another Earth from a different universe. All right, and I don't know how long that happened. I don't know why that happened, but a lot of people think that this is the same theory about the Bermuda Triangle. Why there's a certain piece, there's a small piece of this planet where planes get trapped and it, stuff doesn't work, and a lot of people think that it's that part of the planet is like a different, it's like a wormhole. It's got something there that doesn't supposed to be there, basically. And I believe that Fromville is like the Bermuda Triangle. I think that it is this town is a town similar to that, but it's different in structure. All right. So that's my theory on the motel is probably from another universe that's collided with this universe. Okay. That's why the houses are not set up the way they're supposed to be set up. That's why the buildings are different. Like it's in different eras and things of that nature. I could be wrong, but that's just my theory. And a lot of this proving this theory to be could be true is if Victor can remember what happened when he was a child. Something very seriously happened where everybody in the town died. Okay? And that came from season 1. It just seemed like people seem to forget that Victor, when he was a child, he was explaining as he was a child, what happened when he was a child. And when people were trying to get him to talk about that story, Victor would throw the walls up because Victor just didn't want to talk about it because it was very traumatic to him. And he said he doesn't remember everything, but he drew pictures of what he saw. And I believe if you put all I think there's a start with the pictures, because the pictures are going to tell you a story, even though it's not going to tell you the whole story on what happened when Victor was a child. Everyone in the town died. His mother died, and he's the only survivor. Why did that happen? What happened to the town? Why everyone died in the town? Did everyone die in the town because everyone just said, you know what, we're never going to leave here, so let's just let the creatures kill us? Now those rocks that Boyd found, he found those rocks, and then, like, it was explained in season 1 that he was trapped in this cave in the middle of the night, and the creatures would not go in this cave because of the rocks, or in this house because of the rocks. And then Boyd put 2 and 2 together. Oh, these rocks, these creatures are scared of these rocks, because before then they would hide underneath the houses, in the basements and all that stuff, and they would stay silent throughout the night, not making any noises, and the creatures would go through all the houses to find the people. Okay, so my theory on that is, well, I don't think Boyd and them built cellars and built secret rooms underneath the houses. I think those things were already placed there. So one would got to assume that the first group of people that Victor was in contact with when he was a child, they probably built these secret rooms to hide from the monsters. Okay, so that's that. So to me, this I feel like oh my God, shoot, see, that's what I'm talking about. It is very, very hard to Jade. It is very, very hard to remember all of it, because there's like over 30 people. Okay, for anyone to say that, oh, you should remember all these people, the reason, and I said earlier in this video, people are just focusing on the characters in that particular episode, and I believe that that's the wrong way of looking to try to figure this out. You can't look at it that way. You just can't just talk about these 5 characters and then come to your conclusion on what's going on in this universe. You have to include everybody, the whole entire, all of the characters in From, to figure out why they are where they are. Okay, but Jade, I do believe that next Sunday he's going to have some evidence, a piece of evidence that's going to point him in the right direction when he goes into that town with the 3 rocks. It's going to be so clear to Jade, and I think from that there on, Jade is going to slowly but surely piece together, A, why they're trapped in this town, B, what's keeping them from leaving the town, and C, getting out of the town. I think Jade is the only one that's going to put those pieces together. Now, Boyd was trying to do that. And then the Matthew family and Jade, once they came into the town, it seems like Jade took those responsibilities away from Boyd, because Boyd has to protect the town. He's got too many irons in the fire. He needs to protect the town, keep the town safe, make sure the town is, and it just shows how important of a leader Boyd is. Because when he had that meeting, and when Dale was there, Dale, as well as everyone else, was gaslighting the finger pointing and the blaming, and nobody's not doing nothing, and we should, and everybody should be responsible of, experimenting and doing something. And when Dale tried to go through that bottle tree and died in the swimming pool, everyone came to reality like, oh, we just can't go free willy-nilly and just do what we want to do, hoping that we're going to get out of there. We can end up losing our lives. And that's what the whole point Boyd was trying to tell to his son and everyone else. Let's quit hyping everybody up and having everyone take chances, even with their own lives, to try to find a way out. Boyd believes it is not that easy. It is not that simple. So Boyd is like trying to keep everyone relaxed and calm. And if we're going to find a way out, we're going to do it very slowly. We're not going to rush to judgment and things of that nature. And, now Boyd, now since he alleviated a lot of the responsibilities that he was consuming, Jade is going to figure out a way to get them out of the town. He put those responsibilities towards him. Donna, she's like another leader that will co-sign with Boyd. He needs someone to back him up. And he's slowly giving out these responsibilities. Oh my God, I'm trying to find the other guy's name. He's also a protector of the town. Kenny is like the sheriff of the town. Boyd wants Kenny to be the officer of the town, and he just an overseer. He's like the mayor of the town, the leader of the town, Boyd, okay? Because he's divvying out these responsibilities. And I think that's a great thing. And I think Kenny, as well as Set, whoever the police officer that came to the town 3 episodes ago, when and look, everyone is on her head top because she shot at one of the townspeople and that person died. Okay, and people are not, are grieving for that loss, but they're not giving her a second chance. I think she needs to prove to the town people that, well, one, that she's totally sorry for it, but she's going to have to prove that she's dependable. She won't make bonehead mistakes like that. Okay, so she has a ways to go before they put her. But I feel like sooner rather than later, her and Kenny are going to be like the police, like the police officers of From. But I can also see Kenny just giving up those responsibilities and giving it to her, because Kenny himself, he's mourning the loss of his mother. There's no one in that town that can replace his mom. Well, nobody's going to be able to replace your mom, but he had so much of a connection with his mom. His mom is the reason why Kenny keeps doing what he's doing in the From universe. And now, since she's no longer there, it just seems like Kenny is slowly but surely going to give up those responsibilities and just be a regular citizen in From. I can see Set being she being the police officer or the protector of the town, where she's going to be ringing the bell. She's going to be looking out for people and protecting people, or she can be Kenny's partner. Okay, I can see that going down as well. Okay, so yeah, that's all the thoughts and opinions. I want to also say this. When this video is uploaded, I'm going to really look out in the comment section. And if you're not adding to the discussion on what you think, what's going on in From or the episode that we're talking about, if it's because last week's video, it was a bunch of back and forth on, not knowing the characters' names, which I never said that. I just mispronounced their name. There's a huge difference in not knowing the character's name and you're mispronouncing their names. Okay. If you can't see that, I do apologize, but not knowing someone's name and mispronouncing a name is two different things. Or not knowing a person's name and then later on in that same video saying, oh, okay, that person is so and so. Okay. If you can't see that, I don't know what to tell you. I think when I do these videos and these thoughts and these opinions about From, I do it differently from other content creators on YouTube. I just don't talk about just that particular episode, but I also talk about the theories and I do a deep dive on the actual situation, not only in that episode, but just the whole entire From universe. Okay, because I'm very curious of why they can't leave this town. At the end of the day, everyone has a bunch of theories, but none of these theories are proven correct on where's the motel, why they're stuck in this town. Okay, what's going on with the creatures. I'm more into that, and the only way you're going to figure out the bigger pieces to those puzzles and connect those puzzles together, you have to talk about all of these characters, not just 3 or 4 of them in that particular episode, but all of these characters have some value and some importance to the mystery of From. And if you don't include them, then I don't know what you're doing, because all of these things that all of these characters are going through, all of them are relatable. All of them are connected. Okay. There's not one story that doesn't connect to another story, that doesn't connect to that story, that doesn't connect to this story. And all of these stories, these little smaller stories, are a connection to the biggest one, the biggest story. All right. So I look at it that way, because that's the only way you're going to have to look at it to make these pieces fit and to understand them. You just can't just talk about 3 or 4 characters in an episode and then talk about 3 or 4 different characters in another episode, and then you come to your conclusion. Okay. All of these storylines are deep and they're connected, and they have a lot of plots and twists, and they have a lot of characters in these stories. So when I do things differently, you may not like the way I do things. And if you only just want to talk about if you only want information on one particular episode, there are 1,000 content creators on YouTube that is doing that. I suggest you go there. But to me, I do things differently. I include all of the characters. I talk about all of the stories, and I talk about the main story. Okay, that's how I can make connections, and that's why I come to these conclusions and come to these theories. But this week's episode, when I was breaking it down, it was a bunch of back and forth in the comment section on who's right, who's wrong. You don't remember this character's name, and this, that, and the third. I just want the comment section just to focus on the task at hand. Let's quit worrying about what I know, what I don't know. I mispronounced this character's name. I don't remember that character's name. And, people jumping to conclusion, oh, you're this mega fan, but you don't know the character's name. When I never said I was a mega fan of From. I like the show of From. I like the storyline of From. There's nothing wrong with the characters, but the storyline is what keeps me watching the show. It's not necessarily the characters. 2 plus 2 can be 4. Okay. 1 plus 1 can be 2. All right. But I'm more concerned about the story, I don't have no disagreements with the characters, but you have to talk about the characters or the character storyline to try to piece these things together. So I want peace in the comment section. If people are, you know, saying, well, you know, are jumping to or gaslighting stuff and saying, oh, you don't know this character's name, you mispronounced that character, those people are going to be talking to themselves, because I'm just going to immediately put those comments on private, and you can comment to your heart content by yourself. Just by yourself. I may occasionally comment on your comment, but if your comment doesn't have any value to the video that I just uploaded, then it's just wasted. It's just wasted time. Okay, so yeah, that's it. I will talk to you guys later. I will do a little dirt video right after I upload this video. I'll see you guys later. Deuces.